Hey, hello, Kirk. How are you? Steve and Eric, thanks for checking in. If anybody new is clicking on, we usually start a couple minutes after 7, so stick around and I let people get checked in. Good evening, Darian. How are you? Wow, a whole watch party from the cathedral. That's exciting. Tell everybody hi. Brother Mike, how are you? Cameron, Carlo, how are you from Carmel Lodge? Thanks for checking in. How was the pumpkin patch there, Cameron? Brother Todd, thanks for checking in. Brother Jeff, how are you? The coin looked great, by the way. And Brother Larry from Florida, good evening. My brother from my own mother, Scott from Saginaw 77, hello. Brother Michael and Brother Merle, Brother Phil, they're checking in quick. That's great. I'm not competing with the end of the Colts game this weekend since we played early and won. A little hairy towards the end, but we pulled it out, which is good. Brother Chris from Prospect. Brother Austin from Columbia City. Our senior Grand Deacon, Brother David, how are you? Good evening, Steve. Good evening, Blaine. The race went very good this morning. We traveled up to Darlington, Indiana for my grandson Holden's race. He placed third out of a field, I'm not sure, I don't remember, 8 or 10, so he had a good race. Mary's checking in. Brother Sassman, Frank from Belleville Lodge. Oh, Jackie Ash. All right, from down south. Brother Richard, Brother Fred. Man, I'm going to have to make sure my ritual's on point today. We got a past former ritual instructor, or grand lecturer, and a assistant grand lecturer on. Brother Dave Barton, another Bluffton guy. Brother Tim, Randy and Ray. We'll get started here in about another minute, brothers. We're going to have a great crowd, it looks like. I am excited. So sonic, aren't you? You ready to go? All right. Sean Jones, Brother Baker, how are you? Brother Parmley from Dayton Lodge, and Brother Chris from all the way across the big pond there in the UK. Thank you for checking in. Brother Rick, I hope you and your lady are doing well. We've been keeping track of you and praying for you, so I hope everything's going great. All righty, brothers. Well, we got a lot to cover, so let's get to it. It's been a great week for Indiana Freemasonry. We've been all over, so I always like to start with the commodities report. My favorite, green beans, they were still running a little bit flat. Thank goodness for the Grand Lodge of Illinois at one of their banquets at their annual communication this week. They had green beans. The rest of the week was green bean dry. I did have ham and beans, so we're going to put that on report, one for ham and beans, because it is the season for ham and beans, so we'll put that down. And just a minor complaint, I'll talk about that too, but we had the Corinthian Society dinner at the Indiana Masonic home at Compass Park with the foundation for the Corinthian Society members, and somebody put asparagus on the menu. So we're going to throw out a full-fledged investigation on who picked asparagus, because that is not on the list of the Grand Master's preferred vegetables. So they slipped that in on me, but the rest of the meal was absolutely wonderful. So let's see, we've got that out of the way. And the shirt of the week, I want to thank the Worshipful Master of Warsaw Lodge, number 73. Cameron Biggs is on the call. And they sent me this, I always get the wrong side. they sent this wonderful shirt to me. So thank you to my brothers at Warsaw Lodge number 73. I happen to be, strangely enough, a double honorary member of Warsaw Lodge. I had done the Psalms presentation and the Working Tools presentation over the last couple years, and they honored me with an honorary membership. And then last year we were there for a dedication, and I got a second one. So a double honorary member of Warsaw Lodge. And if you don't have Brother Cameron or Warsaw Lodge on your Facebook, I want to do a shout out to Worshipful Brother Cameron Biggs. He's doing a phenomenal job as master at his lodge this year. They're doing a lot of ritual work, an immense amount of outreach, some great family activities with their lodge. So if you want to see how to do it right, look up and see what they're doing. And Cameron, you and your brothers at Warsaw Lodge are doing a fine job, and I thank you very much for everything that you all do for Indiana Freemasonry. Because everything a lodge does, it doesn't just affect the lodge, it really reflects as a whole on our family of Freemasonry. So I appreciate that. Brothers, we've had a busy week. On Monday, I attended the funeral of Worshipful Brother Ron Davis of Lessing Lodge 464. He's the brother we spoke about last week that had passed away at Newburgh Lodge during a Master Mason degree. And I walked in, and so many brothers were there, a lot of new brothers that I'd never met before, and several that I already knew. And they honored me with, I was asked to perform his Masonic memorial service. And Brother Doug Patmore, who was Grand Marshal some years back, and Grand Steward and Tyler was set to do it, but he graciously offered me to do it, and the lodge had requested that. So it's always an honor. It's not something we enjoy, but it's always an honor to send a brother to his final resting place with the Masonic memorial service. I lost count at about 80, so I think there was 80 or 90 Masons that had gathered around the family and friends of Brother Ron to pay their last respects. So greatly appreciate everybody being there, and it's a great reminder. It's a sacrifice to get to some of our Masonic memorial services. Sometimes we have to take off of work for an hour or two. Sometimes sometimes we just can't make it. But anytime you see a Masonic memorial service and you can sacrifice the time to go and support a brother, whether you ever met him or knew him or not, he's still our brother. I certainly would appreciate, and I know the lodges appreciate, and the family certainly appreciates a good attendance at our Masonic memorial services. And then on a happier note, on Tuesday, I traveled to Medora, Indiana, to Medora Lodge 328. Their stated meeting in October for the last 15 years. They have it at the Old Carr High School, which is kind of out in the middle of the country, out in the middle of nowhere, and it was a small village, small town, and the last thing left are the old cemetery and the Old Carr High School that many of the brothers of Medora Lodge volunteer their time and resources to keep it maintained and keep it open for special functions. And they have blue jean bibs and beans night and a stated meeting by candlelight. So several brothers of Medora Lodge were there, and we had just an absolutely wonderful time. And I did a presentation on our Masonic apron, and we shared several bowls of beans, probably a few too many, and some great homemade desserts. And it's just a wonderful, wonderful tradition that they have. And I want to touch on traditions. A lot of lodges have really fun, great, meaningful traditions. We're starting into the season of lodge dinners and widows' nights and honored ladies' nights. And my own lodge has a annual homecoming dinner the first Friday of November, something we've done, I don't know, probably 30 or 40 years. They've done it every year since I became a Mason 28 years ago. And we always look forward to that. It brings out a lot of our brothers that don't make it to the regular stated meetings, brings our ladies out so we can visit with them. So honor your lodge's traditions. And if your lodge doesn't have a long-standing tradition, start one. Start a nice dinner, a nice program. We're a very traditional organization, and following our Masonic traditions is a very rewarding way to get our brothers into the building and get out there and see our brothers that don't, like I said, make it to the normal stated meetings. On Thursday, myself and our junior Grand Deacon, Dave Hosler, traveled to Springfield, Illinois for the annual communication of the Grand Lodge of Illinois. We were there Thursday night, Friday, and came home Saturday. We got into town a little bit early, so we took in the Abraham Lincoln Museum and his burial site, and had a nice historic couple tourist visits there, and then had a banquet Thursday night and met with several of the Illinois Grand Lodge officers, and then their business meeting and breakout sessions were Friday. And a little bit different than Indiana, but they ran a very nice annual communication. Most of their business, it seemed, they put off to next year, which was kind of funny. But they kept pushing stuff off to next year that it wasn't quite in proper form or out of order. So they went through their business very quick, and they're doing a lot of great things in membership. And I know that Brother Dave went to, I think he went to the leadership and membership breakout sessions and brought back some information on that. So it's always great to travel out of state to the other annual communications. You develop a lot of new contacts and friends and brothers across the borders. And next week I'll be traveling to Ohio and to Kentucky. So it'll be a busy month of travel. So that was very rewarding. And when we came back on Saturday, I picked up the First Lady at home, and we drove over to Franklin to the Indiana Masonic Home at Compass Park for the annual Corinthian Society dinner, which is sponsored by the Indiana Masonic Home Foundation. The Corinthian Society is a society of brothers and ladies and families that have made a pledge in their estate planning to the Indiana Masonic Home Foundation. They have an annual dinner and meeting, and Worshipful Brother Tom Fallis was the guest speaker and talked about his lovely wife and the tributes that he has made in her memory to the Indiana Masonic Home and the skilled nursing area of the home and in the new chapel. And it was a great night to be with our philanthropic brothers and their ladies, and with the foundation. So if you're interested in learning more about the Corinthian Society, you can reach out to Megan Schmidt or Steve Sonnefrank or Eric Vermeulen there in the foundation office, and they'll be glad to let you know all you want about that and all the good things that they do. And while I'm on it, I'm going to repeat this meal and tour at Compass Park. Compass Park staff will host you and your lodge and your guests to a great meal, and then give you a tour of our facilities at Compass Park. And I know that Warsaw Lodge just did that last week, and they had a great crowd that showed up, and they had a wonderful tour and a wonderful meal, and got to see the facilities and just learn a lot about what we offer at our Indiana Masonic Home. And one other thing I'd like to touch on, when I was in Illinois for their annual communication, I spent a lot of time with the Grand Master of Iowa, and I talked to him, was talking to him about our Masonic Home and asked them what the status of theirs was. And some years back, they had to sell both of their Masonic Home facilities that are now completely privately run. They don't have any real connection with those at all anymore. And it really struck me as to how important it is that we support and maintain not only the facilities and the historical aspects of our home there in Franklin, but what it offers to Freemasons of every background and to our widows and to our families. So important work being done by the Indiana Masonic Home Foundation Board and by the Board of Directors of the Indiana Masonic Home itself. A lot of brothers and Eastern Star ladies dedicate a lot of time and talents to both of those boards. So it's a wonderful place. I would really encourage you to give them a call. I'm going to put this back up here. And the number that you can call, brothers, is 317-736-6141, and to reserve your spot. So I would really encourage you guys to get on there and take a tour. I know that my lodge is doing that, and I just got a text from one of my PR and marketing directors, Brother Darian, that we're going to do another one of my truck pins this week as a special gift to our watchers and listeners. So Brother Nathan Boyer, you get one of the Betty truck pins. There's only 500 of these, so I'll be dropping some of those into the mail this week, so congratulations, and we appreciate that. And also, while I'm at it, because I just saw Stephanie from the office check in, thank you for all your hard work in the office. Brothers, we still have our Follow Me to Freemasonry cards and our Masons Support Those Who Serve cards. If you are out of cards or you need some pins, please contact Stephanie in the office, and she will be more than glad to send you some. I carry a bunch with me, so if you see me out and about, please ask me for some, but we still get a lot of great comments about the pins, and we really want to direct people to the website, Follow Me to Freemasonry, to see our film, and we're going to have Dirk and Darian push out the Follow Me to Freemasonry film again, get it another run out there to get shared on your Facebook, so thank you for that. Brother Dirk also reported that the Colts game is completely sold out for November, so the Colts offered us about 30 more tickets, and they are completely sold, and we will have 390 brothers, Masonic brothers, and their guests on the flag, bringing out the flag for the beginning of the football game. So that is phenomenal. That's going to be a wonderful crowd. They've done a great job, and personal thank you to worshipful Brother Dirk. He takes care of all of our sporting events and all those types of public events, and he's done a great job. So Dirk, thank you very much. So if you see Dirk at the football game or you see him out and about, thank him for all of his hard work. We've got our one-day classes coming up. I will tell you where they're at, but the easiest way right at the moment, I think another email should be coming out, I hope tonight, on the contact, but the first set of them are the 18th, this Saturday. The Indianapolis one will be at Noble Lodge at Mirage Shrine. The Southeastern will be at New Albany. The Northwestern will be at St. Joseph's Lodge, and then the Northeastern will be at Bluffton. So if you go on to Mike Pettigrew's list, I'm sure most of you that are on here, on his list, you can see the contact information and all the details for those. And then on November 8th, I know Tipton Lodge 33 is going to have a one-day class, and Terre Haute Lodge, in Terre Haute, Social Lodge 86 is going to have a one-day class. So on Saturday, I'm going to spend the morning and confer the Entered Apprentice degree at Noble Lodge, which I absolutely love the Entered Apprentice degree. I think it's the wonderful foundation to start our Masonic journey. And then my hope is, after the Entered Apprentice degree, to travel to Bluffton very quickly and be at the Master Mason degree for Bluffton. And then I'm going to head back home, hopefully, and pick up the First Lady, and we're going to go celebrate with Maru Grotto up in Lafayette for their 100th anniversary. So it's going to be a full day. And thank you, Brother Joe, or Blaine, for posting about yours at St. Joe's Lodge. So busy things coming up. And also, as you know, it is Beehive Month. This was one of my projects of getting us out and about in the community, just showing our community what Masons are capable of doing and how we can make our communities better. So I'm starting to get some reports back of lodges that are planning what they're planning or what they've already done. So if your lodge hasn't planned a community service project for the month of October yet, I would encourage you to do so. You can just be one or two brothers, or hopefully 8 or 10 or 15 or even more. Just send me an email at beehiveproject2526@gmail.com, and at the end of the month we'll tally all the work hours and everything that we've been able to accomplish. So please do that. A lot of lodges of instruction still going on, so I appreciate your attendance at those, and especially the lodge officers. It's very important that the secretary, the treasurer, the master, and all the officers are in attendance for our lodge of instructions, and I appreciate all of our ritual instructors, our grand lecturer, assistant grand lecturer, and the assistant ritual instructors for all the hard work they do this time of year, putting on all of our lodges of instruction. Brothers, another thing I'd like to touch on real quick is your lodge liaisons and your ritual instructors and your Grand Lodge officers are available to come and put on a presentation for the 357 Lodge Builder program. And I know Dave Hosler, our junior Grand Deacon, has been way out and about, traveling all over doing those, and I know a lot of the other Grand Lodge officers have done some, and lodge liaisons, and it's really an important program, and it's easy to follow to work to make your lodge even more successful than it is now. But the great thing about that program is that you can go right into your lodge portal, and under the Follow Me to Freemasonry tab, you can open it up, and the 357 program's right there. You can print it off for all of your members, your lodge officers, and just sit around the table and self-assess your lodge and see where it is that you think you need to improve. I can come and tell you, but it's your lodge. You know your lodge. You know what you do well. You know what you're not doing or where you can make improvements. So I would strongly encourage you to do that. And I just saw a quick question that popped up. If dues cards have been mailed out yet? No, they'll probably be a little late this year because they're the new ones and they're coming from a new company in mass. So I'll probably see the Grand Secretary this first of the week. I'm probably thinking about middle of the month. Well, it is the middle of the month almost, maybe towards the end of the month, but I will try to find out and let you know that next week about our new member cards. So let's see here. Talk briefly about the First Ladies Project last night at the there's Sonic at the Corinthian Society dinner. The First Lady received a check from the Springville Eastern Star to purchase a dog, and then it kind of opened up the floodgates of brothers and ladies that were there. I think she raised enough money to purchase another 4 or 5 of our companion pets right there on the spot. And First Lady Mel's doing a phenomenal job promoting this program. And one of the things she says that always touches my heart, since these are really geared towards memory care patients or those patients that can't have a pet, that kind of soothes some of that loneliness that you have sometimes late at night, is that you never forget how to love something. So she always adds that to her message, and I appreciate that. And I think we've raised enough money so far to purchase, I think we're at 22 to 25 of the companion pets to purchase. But one thing we're doing is creating a fund within the Indiana Masonic Home for replacement pets, because when our resident passes away, because it's technically a medical device, the companion pet passes away theoretically with the resident. So there will be more money to provide new animals for new residents that are in need. So we're continuing to do that. And you should have received a letter from Steve Sonnefrank this last week or so about my project at the Indiana Masonic Home, which was restoring the bell tower. I think it's very important. There's very few things left on Compass Park that are original or historic. We voted to go ahead and repair the arches at the entryway and the bell tower, and there are very distinctive parts of Compass Park. So if you are so led, or your lodge is so led, to make a donation to recoup the funds spent on redoing the bell tower there in Compass Park, contact the Indiana Masonic Home Foundation. It looks like Brother Dirk just posted a link, so thank you, Dirk. So I think that's very important. So let's see, what else do we have? I want to read you a quote. I've been trying to do a Masonic quote every week, and I'm going to get to that real quickly, if I can get my phone opened up. Let's see, there it is. So let me read this to you. This is from Theodore Roosevelt, and it really deals with what I'm going to talk about next. It is not the critic who counts. not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes short again and again, because there is no effort without error and shortcomings, but who does actually strive to do those deeds, who knows great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at his worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who neither know victory nor defeat. I love that quote, and it's a great tagline for leadership. I've been in leadership, involved in leadership, and in leadership training for a long time, and leaders don't always succeed. Sometimes we succeed greatly, and we have great successes, and we can point out to them and say, man, that was all put together great, and that was all wonderful and perfect. But, we fail sometimes. Sometimes as a leader, we don't make the mark. We don't get things organized as good as we could have. And one thing I've always tried to do when I fail is to learn from that failure and try harder the next time, and try to do better the next time, try to learn from my mistakes. And we're entering into a very important time in the Grand Lodge of Indiana. We're entering into, once November starts, we start the election of officers. November and December are filled with elections and installation of our new officers. And sometimes it's a frustrating time of the year, for me anyway, because oftentimes from my time working in the Grand Lodge office for those 6 years and then being in line, I get a lot of calls from brothers, and I've actually received 2 this week that the senior warden's being passed over. The senior warden's upset because he's being passed over for whatever reason. And these are real delicate situations, brothers. I think there's an expectation when we get put into line that we're going to progress through line. And sometimes an officer does get passed over. And if that's something the lodge feels like they need to do, it's a very serious decision, because that brothers came up with the expectation that, they're going to be master. Oftentimes we see officers fail because of their own doing, but also because as they've progressed through line, maybe they've been pushed into line. They really weren't ready to serve. Maybe they were junior deacon and they weren't really ready to be senior deacon. Then they become senior deacon and they're not quite ready to be junior warden, but they pass him on to junior warden. Then he's not really ready, obviously, to be senior warden, but we're going to put him in as senior warden. Then all of a sudden, he's going to be master, and the lodge says, well, he's not ready. Well, that could be a tough pill to swallow for some brothers. And I think if that's the situation, we really need to start opening ourselves up with our officers, especially as they traverse through the line, of what our expectations as a lodge is of that office and of that officer. And really appoint a past master or a mentor to assist him in his journey through the line. Some guys pick it up naturally. Other guys really struggle. So it's very important that we're communicating with our officers up into the time until they're moved up into the next station. And if it looks like they're not ready, then get a group of brothers together and have an open, honest conversation with them. And explain to them why we think you're not ready, or what can we do to help you get ready. It's a two-way street, obviously. Tough decisions are made, but in the end of the day, we always have to remember that we're brothers and we're obligated to each other. And that I would much rather somebody have a conversation with me about how I'm failing, or what I'm doing good, or what I need to work on, than come to find out, I'm not going to get reelected, or, they're going to pass me over. So it's a very important time right now. To work on our lodges, to strengthen our lodges, and to get our officers ready for the next step. So as we get ready for our elections and our installations, I'd like you to take some time to kind of think about that, and think about what we can do as past masters, what we can do as brothers on the sideline what we can do to improve our officer line and to give them the help that 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 they need to be successful for our lodges. So just think about that. It's been a really great week. I'm going a little bit long, but I just want to tell you that how honored I am again to be your Grandmaster and to go out and represent the lodges. I don't have a lot planned for this week, so I'm going to make some calls tomorrow about where I'm going to travel this week, and show up to some ritual work and some stated meetings and maybe a lodge of instruction. So if you have anything going on, please shoot me a message. I want to thank each and every one of you for checking in with me on our Sunday night chat. I've been talking about this as we travel out of state, and the reception there is very good. So all of our out of state brothers that happen to find us, all of our ladies that check in, thank you all for checking in. Our brothers from across the ocean, thank you as well. I look forward to seeing you out in our travels. And the one last thing I want to talk about, I always try to do a little bit of ritual education, is the 9 classes of Masonic emblems, the Beehive lecture. One of my favorite parts of that is the pot of incense. The pot of incense is an emblem of that gratitude we have for our great beneficent author of our existence. And as it glows with fervent heat, so our hearts should continually glow with gratitude. So my heart glows with gratitude for each and every one of you and all the hard work that you put in for your lodge and all the sacrifices that you make. So brothers, have a good week. If you need anything, feel free to shoot me a message. Reach out to a brother you haven't talked to this week, and I hope to see you soon. Thanks a lot and take care. And go Colts. All right, take care, brothers.